Welcome to the MANvFAT Wales YouTube channel. Come Facebook page, depending on where you're watching this. I'm joined this evening, or today, depending on the time of day, of course, by the incredible Josh Howells and the amazing Andrew Rowley. They of the Amazing Losers fixtures game. The game is scheduled to kick off in the next 24 hours. So these boys aren't actually here right now. They'll be making their, probably warming up, actually, at this time. No, you won't be. You'll be 24 hours before. So you'll be getting ready to leave the next day. How you doing, boys? Are you well?
Yeah, I'm all good.
Yeah, all good. Hello? Thank you.
Yeah.
That is the correct answer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fire through the stats that I gathered on you both before we started recording. What I've learned at the time at MANvFAT is when you are talking about someone and the weight they've lost, that information that you've gathered is incorrect, and the person you're talking about will correct you on how much weight they've lost since you gathered your information. So what I'll do is I'll introduce you both, and then if you could follow up with your team name on club night, position you play, and how much it is you've really lost since I gathered my information. So I'll start with you, Josh, formerly of the Newport League, now in Swansea. A massive 30.85% of your body weight since your MANvFAT start weight, and 53 kilograms, which is the equivalent of a North Pacific giant octopus.
Yeah, I've lost a little bit more over the last couple of weeks, but yeah, it's pretty much similar.
Still an octopus.
Yeah, still an octopus, as you say.
And what position do you play?
Play defense. I prefer playing in defense, but it's tens now with my team at the moment. We're a little bit short on numbers, so I've been pushing up into midfield and then letting more players play in defense. But I'd rather play in defense.
You have got some sick skills, if I remember rightly.
I don't think so, but yeah.
So I guess in your journey with MANvFAT, you've had a number of teams at this point. What's been your favorite team name that you've played with?
I'd probably say Tandoori Nights.
Really?
Right at the start, yeah.
I was on Tandoori Nights. Fantastic. Very good. Well, that's made me happy. Andrew Rowley, he of Newport fame, and just at the bottom of my screen there, a huge 35% of your body weight, 60.96 kilograms, and that is the equivalent of a 6-piece drum kit with cymbals. You imagine carrying one of those around?
Gotta have the cymbals. Well, apparently I was. That's the worst bit.
That's mad, isn't it? That's mad. How much is it really?
It's up to 62.8 or something like that. It's not far off 10 stone. So it's more than that, right? 63 point something, I think, because I think it's 63.5-ish is 10 stone. So I'm just off that. So something like 63.2 or something.
That's like Natalie Portman and a 3-piece drum kit with cymbals.
Yeah.
And what's your preferred position?
Well, striker at the moment, because I'm still using my injury as an excuse of why I have to stand up front and not run around as much as anyone else. So I'm going to stick with it for a bit.
And tell us you had a few teams, not as many as Josh, I don't think, but what's been the favorite team name that you've had that you've played with?
I got to be fair, and it's probably one. It's the same time as yours, and I think it was the Breakfast Raptors, and it's the one that sort of came from nowhere. That we were the Rogerton Raptors. I think it was just the given name was thrown at us.
Yeah, that's right.
And was it the same with yours with the Knights, wasn't it? Was it that same one where you were something nights or whatever, and then you just changed it a bit? Was it?
Yeah, Josh was on Nash Nights originally.
That's it. Yeah. So it was that period, I think, where all of a sudden we were all given sort of a name, and we all just sort of just changed the first bit or whatever, and just were happy with the nickname bit. So we changed ours to Breakfast Raptors and just chucked the W in front of the Raptors bit, so it became a breakfast rap.
I love that. I love that. For those watching who aren't based in Newport of around season 3, when Stan and I did the first rejig, we gave the teams names to run with straight away after places in Newport with a American basketball / baseball suffix. So we had the Rodstone Raptors, the Nash Knights, Chilean Cowboys was another one that stuck. And some of them stuck around, which was humbling because I spent far too long creating the names for those teams. If our third representative from Wales in the Amazing Losers fixtures was here, that would be Chris Shaw, and between the three of you would have lost a humongous 174.96 kilograms, which is the equivalent of a baby African element, a drum of oil, 5,833 white roses, or a panda. A singular grown male panda. You're all going to be... Go on.
What was it? 170 what?
174.96.
Because my start weight was 171.7.
That's crazy.
I was pretty much the size of a panda.
Or a drum of oil.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think between the three of you, you've lost a starting Andrew Rowley holding a bass drum. You're all going to be going off to Stoke in 24 hours' time, representing obviously us here in Wales, but also the whole of the South on the yellow team. We'll start with you, Josh. Who do you hope is going to be your celebrity manager?
I've had a look through, and I'd say maybe Peter Taylor, simply because I think he looks a bit cool. Really, I think he'd be quite interesting player, not a player manager to listen to.
Does look the part, right? Does look the part. Rowley.
I like the idea of, obviously, even though it's Northern Ireland, I like the idea of Jim Magilton being our manager because sort of that Celtic link. But obviously, it's the south of the UK, so it's not just Wales. But yeah, I don't know. I think it'd just be interesting because obviously I followed quite a bit of obviously football in the 90s. Josh wasn't even born probably at that point, so like I know more of Jim Magilton as a player, so I'd be happy with him as our manager.
Which we're 24 hours out, as I keep saying. What is it that you're most looking forward to from tomorrow?
I'd say just looking at the stadium, and just seeing what the whole event's like, and just another thing as well I'm quite interested in is seeing how much weight that other people have lost.
Yeah, right.
And like hopefully seeing if they'll like show pictures of like what they've lost and like what they look like. I'm quite interested in watching stuff like that.
I think the whole event last year was a spectacle, and this is obviously round 2, which generally they've learned a bit from. There have improvements that have been made, and yeah, I'm excited for you both to, obviously for that spectacle of the stadium. Are you taking you've got a mascot?
No, I don't have a mascot.
No,
I have a few of my family coming down, but no mascots.
Papa Howells making the trip?
No, unfortunately, he's in Spain.
That's a rubbish excuse. That's a terrible excuse.
Yeah, so he goes to Spain on the Sunday, and then I've got to travel up to Stoke on the Monday. Yeah.
Well, never mind. Rowley.
Well, obviously we've just not that long obviously got back from the awards and everything, so it was nice obviously bumping into people and seeing people anyway, wasn't it? So we got a bit of an idea of obviously what people are looking like. Obviously we've had a quick chat with Chris. Sadly, would be nice to have a chat with him here as well. So yeah, just meet, like Josh said, meeting people who have gone through the same as you and lost weight, asking them how, you know, it's just always that thing when people have done similar to you, or, you know, have gone through the same stuff as you. It's always nice to have a chat with them and stuff. And you find that they've usually had to go through the same sort of stuff as you. And it's just really enjoyable to have a chat with people. But like I said, the stadium, just walking out onto the pitch, yeah, just being there, to be honest, and just being picked in the first place was amazing. So the day itself is just going to be, I don't know, it's just going to be amazing.
It's a huge achievement for sure. Obviously, the award ceremony was not recently; it was a week ago, and
That's recent.
and we know obviously from that and other events that we've attended, the MANvFAT community is huge and such a welcoming, friendly place, and super important to all the success all the boys achieve. What's the biggest thing you guys would say that you've overcome in your weight loss journey with MANvFAT that previously has been a bit of a hurdle for you, something that you couldn't overcome before?
I'd say, oh, sorry. Yeah, I'd say a big thing I've overcome is like maybe like late night snacking and then being more active, really. That's the main things. I'd say I've had that's like when I've tried losing weight before, I just never seemed to work.
And this is something I've seen stick with you now. It's been over a year, I think, since you made your return to MANvFAT. And now
Just
you're
coming up
looking,
to a year, yeah.
it's coming up to a year, and you're looking, you know, fantastic. As I said before we started recording, do you think you've learned, or you've got the confidence now that it's not going to come back on?
I feel like if I keep it strict in the way of I've got like every week weigh at the end of the week, and or you know have one day off as a treat day. If I keep it like that, I will be able to. But like a big thing I like with MANvFAT is the reason why I don't really want to never really ever leave is the whole thing of at the end of the week when you're weighing in front of your team, and like if you put on weight, you're letting down your team. If you lose weight, you're helping the team out. It's like if you go in with up like 2 kilos, yeah, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, come on, man!" Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's, I don't know, it's gonna be a hard one.
Not a decision you've got to make soon, for sure.
Yeah,
But
hopefully not. Yeah, I want to try to keep it there as long as I can. But
yeah, fantastic. Rowley?
To be honest, it's not so much that I've had to overcome on the journey as such. It's always a constant battle, but it's always the mental side of it. So if my head's not in the right place, then I'll just eat all sorts of crap just all the time. And as you saw last week at that Brazilian restaurant,
It was last week.
I can eat. So and even now I've lost weight, but I can eat, and I can still eat if I wanted to. And that's the worst bit, because I'm still waiting for this bit where apparently my stomach is supposed to shrink and I'm not going to be hungry as hungry anymore. But that doesn't seem to happen. But it's the mental health side of it. So if I have a bad day now, similar to what Josh was saying, if I have a bad day, I think. But at the end of the week, if I go and weigh, I'm going to let my team down. So whereas in the past, I would have think, oh, I've had a bad day, I'm just going to eat like whatever I want and as much as I want and whatever. It's like, no, I can't do that because I'm going to let down the boys. I'm going to stand there, I'm going to weigh, I'm going to feel terrible when I see how, you know, bad my weight is and stuff like that. So that's a major thing for me, has always been the mental side of it. And that's my main thanks to everyone. Newport, people who have come and gone, even people from other clubs when I've talked, like I went up to Merton and I had a chat with some of the guys up there. And again, it's just the conversations with them and just understanding that I'm not I wasn't the only one there for the social side as well, and not just the weight loss, but that all helped everything. And I think the whole package then just helps me with the weight loss then.
Well, that's really lovely. That's really lovely to hear. Thank you for sharing that.
Not you though.
Thanks for sharing that. Also quite understandable. Josh has mentioned treat days and the importance of treat days. And 26 hours from now, you boys will be on the motorway heading back down the road after what will be hopefully at least 60 minutes of football. What is your go-to treat meal?
It's more it's more of a treat day for me.
Go on, talk us through it.
All right, so we'll start off with a McDonald's, and then we'll go on to a Taco Bell, and then we'll go on to a load of snacks. It's just all in one day.
So we just do a takeaway crawl, right? On the day after.
Yeah, pretty much. one day in a week is just loads, and then top it off with like ice cream at the end of the night.
Ice cream.
But yeah.
What about you, Andrew?
Well, I said this to someone the other day, and I remember their face looking at me as if like, and you've lost how much? Like the night.
Oh yeah. I think I know what you're gonna say.
On my way home, so I'll order food as I'm leaving Newport for my food, and I'll not race it as such, but I'll see if I obviously try and get home before the takeaway. But I usually have it's a big square silver tray that comes from my kebab shop, and it's got lamb doner, lamb sheesh, lamb kofta, and chicken sheesh. Big pile of salad on top with a chili sauce all over, and 2 bitter breads. And that's Friday night treat night, that is. And then depending on how I feel, there is a place in Abercynon called Loaded Dough, and they do a fantastic pizza, and they do a really good like chocolate cake or dessert and thing. So that might even be Saturday night as well, depending on how I'm feeling. But usually, I will be honest, I will usually cut my calories a bit for the rest of the day and then balance it out throughout the week. So that's how I do the weight loss. It's not that I stop myself from eating stuff, but I eat it and then I just recalculate my week, if that makes sense. So that's the secret.
I'm interested, before we finish, to get from you both a top tip or a few top tips that you can share with the rest of us that has worked for you, particularly on your weight loss journeys.
I'd say one thing I felt this helped me is like how do I say, it's not like a fast, but it kind of is. It's like I eat food before 6 p.m. is my last meal. And then I don't have food then till the next morning, whatever time I wake up, could be 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m.,
Sure.
whenever. But it's just whole thing of like, I feel like just limit yourself the calories, give snacks in between. It's just keeping your body fueled like every couple of hours with just little things, and then obviously your 3 main meals. And I feel like it just doesn't make me want to snack. It makes me feel more energetic, and it makes me want to do more exercise. That's one thing I felt this helped quite a lot.
Fantastic. I think it was James Smith that said intermittent fasting is just skipping a meal. But actually, what you've done there is moved the fasting period to when you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Which I quite like as well. Well, particularly that sort of regimen, that routine, that helped me for a long period, just to stay accountable, really, for the choices I was making.
Yeah.
Andrew, a big top tip or a few top tips?
Okay, so a couple of things I look at. I treat my calories as weekly rather than daily. So if I'm on, again, to make it simple, 2,000 calories a day, I'll use that as 14,000 calories for the week rather than 2,000 for the day. And what I'll usually do is splurge a little bit over the weekend, and then it starts going down towards the end of the week, if that makes sense, just because I start limiting how much I eat. Then, to make sure I'm not getting hungry, water is ridiculous how much water I drink. I think I drink about 4.5 liters of water a day, if not more, depending on if I'm exercising and things like that. And high protein, just because if you're working out and doing stuff, it's always good for the rebuild. Plus, protein is better to stop you feeling hungry. So those are just a few things. It's really, like you said, I've just picked up off people online or whatever, and did a little bit more research myself then afterwards, and just found that those are the things that work. So just keeping it as simple as possible, really.
Fantastic. So the surefire guide to being in the Amazing Losers fixture next year is routine, weekly calories, protein.
And water, lots of water.
Ah, yeah, and water. That was your other one. I knew there was something else.
And making sure your calorie deficit is in the right place. Because if you think it's in the right place and you keep putting weight on, it's not in the right place.
I gotta get that on a t-shirt. Certainly a voice clip for some of the boys on Fridays. Listen, Josh, Andrew, huge congratulations on getting to where you have. It's an amazing, amazing achievement. You know, those drum kits, drums of oils and pandas are best stuff away from you two, and I'm really, really excited for you both for tomorrow. Best of luck, and thank you very much for joining me this evening.
Yeah, thank you, Billy.
Thanks,
Josh,
boys.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bring it home. Go Yellows.
Yeah.